What's going on, you guys? Slim here at YCS Minneapolis. My boy, Asian Persuasion, you already know, continuing that wonderful profile grind. And we're here with first top, been on the channel multiple times though, Mr. Steve Hernandez. Welcome back to the channel. This time, YCS topper. Let's freaking go. Let's go. Proud of you, man. Yeah, you did your thing here at YCS Minneapolis with what deck?
I played TEARLAMENT with pretty much pure with the tiny little Bisted engine.
It worked out, definitely.
That was good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, let's get right into it.
Right.
So, like,
before you do though, we can never forget, because no one watches the video because they don't like to hear us talk or anything.
They're here for Quran.
They're here for Karen, of
I
course.
would hope so. I'd hope so.
Do you have any shout-outs?
oh yeah, of course. Shout outs to my sponsors, obviously. Like, I would not be even competing in this event if it weren't for them. Help me out with all my cards. Shout outs to my Rock Anson. Shout outs to my girlfriend. You know, everyone back at the Valley that helped us play test, and yeah, the whole team just really labbed pretty hard with this deck. It literally changed every day. Every day for like the last 2 weeks, cards came in and out, and it's like probably 30 card, 20 card different than like what it first was. Like besides like the pure engine, like between the main side and extra, it just always changed.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot to get here. For sure. We just talked about it over and over every day. It was awesome.
Yeah, and clearly it worked. It's crazy. It was awesome to see. And like we said, it's your first top, so first of many.
Yeah, first of many. Yeah, this is where it starts.
This is exactly. All right. All right. With that said, let's hop into it.
Yeah. So for the tier engines, pretty standard. I played all 12 of the main tier monsters. Yeah, there's nothing to really say about that. You just really want to mill these, and I'm playing more of a pure version, so I didn't want to like slim down on the Rhino Hearts and everything. The normal sum is really important. And then for these new cards, I guess I played a Scream, and I still play 2 Solic. This is pretty normal. I started with 3 and 3 of these because I was playing pure, and I really wanted to turbo it out. I always wanted to end all my boards with Solic on the field. And Scream lets you search Solic through Beatrice or just by milling it. As time came on, I liked this a little bit less and less. I wanted to make room for more hand traps, but I think 1 was just the perfect number. You don't ever want to open 2 of this, but you are okay with opening 1 because you can dump it for the Rhino Heart and then get your Solic, or you can just summon it. Plus, with the Baron in this deck, you get to just Baron pop it and search your trap every single time, and you search Crime for the side deck, so I think this was fine. I think this was the minimum I could play. And then more TEARLAMENT monsters. It's pure, so I just want to play as many TEARLAMENTs as I can. Yeah, Field Spell is really good. This also can pop your Scream when you're going first to get you the trap. So you always end with Crime or Solic in this version. And then the Brandon High Spirits version, your boards are godlike when you open this card. Like, this card is really strong, and it helps you play around like the Bisteeds by doing it in the standby phase, draw phase before you get a monster on board. And then you summon the Rulukalos, and then you have an out to the first Bisteed. So if they want to Bisteed you, they need 2 Bisteeds at least. And yeah, Cartage is insane. Quick Effect is just that is just crazy.
And being a tuner is fantastic too.
Yeah, exactly. It lets you put Baron in this deck, which was, when I was labbing this deck, I was originally playing with like Sprites and a bigger Bisteed engine, but there was no Omni Negate on my board, and I was getting blown out by Evenly and all those like board breakers, and I was trying to figure out a way to put an Omni Negate onto my board, and this is just like the best package to do that with, like just to protect your boards from getting blown out. And then I guess like more starter cards. We played like the 2 fusion targets. This is just instant fusion in a monster, just takes more life points. And then yeah, this card, like these cards are full combo. This is 3 fusion summons. This is also 3 fusion summons. So like,
and originally we weren't even playing it. It's just like we came to the conclusion that it's a level 2 and it's a dark. I don't know why.
Yeah, like literally the 2 best
like,
things.
It's fantastic. It's so good.
Right?
Yeah, it's so good. And paying the 5,000 was like never scary or never issue.
You're dead. Like, you're just dead. It's really good.
And he's the best in simplified game states, and he tutors basically into like every Link 2 I have. So yeah, it was just really strong. I felt like I couldn't play this deck without it, and every time I drew it, I won, so it's like really good. And then like, I guess this is the different part between all like the Bisto combo decks is I just played a lot of hand traps. So I played Ash and Bell. This is to protect me from the Bistids, and it also stops Tears effects from activating, stops Elf, Ash Blossom. A lot better with like the Brandon High Spirits play. You kind of just cut that off and don't have to worry about like the God board. You just really have to worry about like maybe Dweller, Vukalos, Trap card, which isn't that bad. And Also, this was just all around good and really solid, and most of the cards that kill you in time, when people are trying to kill you in time, this stops. So like if they're trying to gigantic you, stop it. They're trying to dump the scatter shot. They're trying to dump the girl, the little like spider thingy that gains 1,000 life points. Like this always stops them. So it's just ways to like, stop you from cheesing you. And then like imperm. I wanted cards that could hit the Kit Kalos in the draw phase. I guess that's kind of why I played the Moonlight Chill also. Everyone, like, I played against like Runic Sprite a lot, and they were just bringing out the Girl Who Searched the Fountain in the draw phase, and like my Veilers were dead. And originally, like, I actually didn't even play these 5 girls. I just played these 6, and I played Cherries. Karan told me to not play the Cherries. It was actually just really bad. Like, people can play around it with the Branded High Spirits.
Yeah,
they have no monsters on board.
That was like the biggest thing. Like,
Yeah.
just do the Branded High Spirits. Like, not being able to Cherries is like super important. You couldn't play Droll because they do Branded High Spirits in the draw phase. So Ash was just like versatile, and like the Moonlight Chill, you can't like play around it. So it's like another pseudo like Veiler, but it's a tutor. So
Yeah,
it's like pretty good.
Yeah, it's also like these hand traps aren't dark, so they can't like darken back. They're not level 2 or anything like that. So yeah, these are all solid, and these all hit like all the cards you need to in the draw phase, which is really important. Just being able to do stuff like whenever you want. They're also good 6 cards to draw. They'll try to like Magnum at you, and then they'll effect, and that's all really nice. And then the rest of the hand traps I played were the Bisteeds from the new set. Oh yeah, this is a proxy for the Druid Worm. I played a smaller engine. This started like being maxed out, and then I cut to like 1/1 with the Serener, and I played the Trap. I tried the rebranded, and at the end of the day, it just felt like 6 to 5 extra slots. I'd rather would just have other going second cards, because I honestly didn't think there was going to be a flood of tier. I thought it was going to be more separated with like Sprite. I thought Runic Sprite especially was really overrepresented at the European tournament, and I wanted just more versatile cards. I also was really scared of the Pendulum deck, so I know there's like 3 new Pendulum FTKs that came out. I didn't want to get FTK'd, so I just want to have more hand traps in my deck, make my deck more versatile instead of just targeting for tier. If I open up Branded High Spirits and I kick Hallows, Dweller, like they're not beating me anyways. So I just wanted to make my deck more well-rounded, and people just aren't ready for hand traps. 2 interruptions, you simplify the game state, you mill 3, you hit 2 off your mill 3, and they can't come back. Like the deck just snowballs really quick. So that's honestly how my deck was functioning. I just kind of like stun them, snowball over them, and then my monsters are really big. And then I guess I'll go to the extra deck afterwards. So yeah, one of the new girl, she's really good. She stops the Bisteeds and is part of the whole combo going first. And yeah, she's 3,000 in Aqua. I guess it's a little scary with like Dweller, because you really have to choose. But a lot of your boards, even if they give up 2 cards to super poly you, like she comes back, and then your boards are still just unbreakable. So I think I always went more for the Dweller, and then 2 Kit Kalos. 1 is not enough.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Yeah, not anymore. And then now Kit Kalos can bring back the Rukalos. It can bring back this too. So you can just get into like crazy grind states where you're just summoning this, they out it, and the next turn you just make this, send herself, bring back this, mill 5, and then you just start really snowballing. This card was also really good. All the Tearlament fusions were really solid. I also played grew a super poly target, and this is also part of the going first combo. You make Baron, draw 1, end with the other one. And Mud Dragon helps you go into Dweller, and this card, like, when you're pushing into a board in the mirror match and you just start with this and they just don't know what to do. And it's not that they don't know, they just can't do anything actually. Like, most of the interactions all target. You have to worry about like 1 Rukalos and the Baron, and your side that comes in for that. So, and then Stapella, I think he's still important. Really good against Sprite. And super poly target too, so yeah, these cards are all good. I guess I'm talking about like super poly targets when I didn't main it, but I did side it. It's felt like at the higher levels everyone is making their boards to play around super poly. The only deck that really apes into super poly is the Sprite deck, and that's the deck that I sided in for the most. But like the mirror match is usually not going to end on a super polyable board unless you have the Dweller Lucalos, which are probably losing that game anyways. So I decided over other blowout cards. I didn't think it was like needed to be main. I really thought that there was gonna be like Pendulum. Their board's also not super polyable. So yeah, I just didn't want to main deck the super poly, but I still played all the targets for what I decided in against all the decks. And then I guess for XYZ's Dweller, everyone's best friend. Yeah, you just make this against the tier decks. Sprite decks now, they dump the Angler, so sometimes you need this, and you just like, yeah, this card's just really good. 22 almost always. And Beatrice, you don't always open up High Spirits, so you can always, if you open up a Magnuma or the Druid Worm, you just make Arua, make this, send the screen, get the trap, and then on their turn you send a tier. 2 interruptions basically in one XYZ. So he's really good. And Baguska, there was 2 slots in my extra deck that were moving around for the longest time. I tried so many different cards, and this card was here for when basically you get shifted. All the shifter decks, you just make this and pray. And I didn't make him. I didn't get shifted this whole tournament, so that was, yeah, didn't need to use this. But
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
there are other cards I probably play over this after playing more. I mean, it's like rough. Like my list was really changing every day, so like it's really like this. And I guess the other card that I like wasn't sure about playing that I played last minute was like IP. I'm really glad I play this. Also, shouts to Karan. Like,
Card's insane.
I was scared to play IP because I felt I didn't want my 2 extra slots to go into IP Unicorn or IP and like whatever interruption card. But then Karan just let me know that you can just go into Sprint. And so you IP into Sprint on their turn, and then you just send, pop with the field spell, and it's just a really good interruption. And then if you have Beatrice or Dweller up on the board, you get another
God
bounce.
forbid you already have Dweller or Beatrice.
Yeah,
The game's over. So.
Exactly. So like a lot of times, like Sprint, he's really important in this deck. You very rarely make him going first unless you're getting hand trapped a lot. But he's really good going second when you're playing through multiple interruptions, and then you end onto the sprint. Like usually, like you play, you go into dark, they stop you, and then you go into sprint as like your last thing, and then they usually just don't have an out to this, and then you just snowball after that. And then he was my IP target too. A lot of my boards I ended with IP today. He's really glad I played this card. And then dark, cracked in the mirror, and then I played elf still. Yeah, sometimes you just mill your Cyberstein and then you bring it back, and also just being able to make IP and then link over your IP to Elf, bring stuff like you can bring this back on their turn and then go into Sprint, and yeah, all my cards are really good. Also, like I guess the best play is when you're scared of like Nib. You know they play Nib, you can just do this, and like it literally they just never beat you because this guy can't be targeted. So Nib Imperm just doesn't exist. They literally need Gamma Nib, and they better have it. And then, yeah, Synchro. He's your Omni Negate that just protects your whole board. He gets you extra searches on your turn. If you have a Sharon on board, you can just pop your stuff and, like, resolve it. Sometimes you just make the Kaleido Heart first turn, and then you just pop him with your Baron, and then you send the Scream to get the Trap, and then you have, like, Trap, Kaleido, Baron, and then you also have, like, the Lulu Carlos. It's just, like, you can't crack those boards. Also can't be like your board's not super polyable, so like that was the whole thing for this tournament. It was really play hard around super poly. And yeah, I think the only time I got super polyed I lost, but I didn't get super polyed very often. Like I just didn't have the opportunity too much. I did get super polyed once though, lost that game. That's why we play around it. Side deck, I played some back removal. I played the Duster and Evenlies. This card's so high impact right now. If they don't open High Spirits, they don't get to the Omni Negate. This is just blood in the mirror. I also like this against Sprite, and yeah, I just thought that even though it's really high impact, you really have to think sometimes when you're when you have this and you have like Halfness or Magnuma in your hand. And since I didn't play as many Bestials as some of the other tier decks, I thought it was okay to play evenly match. I'm not gonna have like 2 Bestials in my hand every game. So I have like the option to use this card over like Lightning Storm, which I was testing, but kind of has the same problem where if you summon a Bestial, you can't Lightning Storm either. So yeah, so I just chose to do this, and then for other going second cards, I just played like Super Poly and Droplets. Yeah, for the mirror, these cards are really important to break the boards. Some of your decks, like you don't really care about keeping your hand traps in. Because they don't really threaten with too much advantage. Their boards are always like pretty steady, like Sprite. They can kind of play through around a lot of hand traps, and I'd just rather have like these going in. But I thought I honestly thought I was gonna play more like Pendulum and bigger combo decks. So this is for like Sprite basically near the 2 main decks. And then we played Scattershot to send off the Sprint. And then my going first cards, I played Eradicator. I was really afraid of Runic Sprite, and like weird enough, all of the Sprite decks I played were all pure, like no one was playing Runic. But I still sided this in a lot. This is like my Mystic Mine out that I side in if I know they're playing Mystic Mine. All the trap decks. And yeah, if I just see like Desires and Tactics around the place, like I like to like side this. Like I see Tactics Desires game 1, this usually goes in, and then I said a Crime. This card's really good. Like I said, with Scream now, you almost always search this, and when you have Baron and Crime set, you have 2 Omni Negates, you have the Can't Special Summon, you have Dweller sometimes, and if you're really good, you open this in Abyssal. Like, it's just so many interruptions. Like sometimes you really open up 7-8 interruptions, and it's just like you have to open up really good to beat by 7 interruptions. You have to open up Super Poly.
All right. That's the deck. All right. Well, once again, congratulations, man. First top of many. Always a pleasure to have you on the channel. Congratulations, and thank you for the deck profile.
Thank you, bro.